I'm making an executive decision.
Uh-oh.
We're moving into the summer. I think this summer we're going to cover just
Summer movies?
summer movies / kids in danger.
Sweep the leg. You have a problem with that?
Welcome to the Project Gen X Retro Summer Series 2022.
Sarah, beware. I have been generous up until now, but I can be cruel.
Starting in May and ending in August, we will review the summer movies from our youth that include Tron,
Still don't understand why you want to break into the system.
Because, man, somewhere in one of these memories is the evidence. If I got in far enough, I could reconstruct it.
Adventures in Babysitting,
Don't fuck with the babysitter.
The Goonies,
Don't say that! Never say that! Goonies never say die!
Back to the Future,
Whoa, this is heavy. There's that word again, heavy. Why are things so heavy in the future? Is there a problem with the Earth's gravitational pull? What?
and so much more.
We talked into the night. The kind of talk that seemed important until you discover girls.
If I can only have one food for the rest of my life, that's easy. Pez. Cherry flavored Pez.
Along the way, we will also sprinkle in some non-movie goodness that will remind us what it was like to be a kid when the socks were high, the shorts were extra short, and there wasn't a cell phone to be seen.
E.T. phone home. E.T. phone home. Wants to call somebody.
So sit back and join Big Dave, Barry, and myself, Alan Smith, to relive the magic of the 80s and the retro summer. Welcome back to the Project Gen X podcast. I am one of your hosts, Alan Smith, along with...
I'm the other guy, Big Dave.
And I'm Barry!
And we are now entering August, which means we were in the last month of Retro Summer 2022.
Aww.
We've got some cool. All right. This is gonna be the newest episode that drops after what was our last one was with SFW because we had to pivot on the run,
Which back up and punt
because of user error. And
Alan erased our entire library.
I put it. No, it's. I put it. I explained on the front end of that episode to everyone who was listening. So, but we're getting back into retro summer, which means we got 4 episodes left. I think.
We've got a few.
Actually, no, we have more than that.
Yeah.
Because I think there's actually 5. There's 5 weeks in this month.
There are.
Yeah. So we're going to have 5 more episodes, basically counting this one. And so to get back into this, we are going to get into what year did this come out? 1985.
Anybody got stats?
84.
84.
I'm on it.
1984's The NeverEnding Story. Barry?
Yes, sir.
Give us the stats before I give you a rundown.
Here we go.
I am so scared of this. Okay, NeverEnding Story, directed and screenplay written by Wolfgang Peterson, who, by the way, actually made 2 of my favorite movies of all time,
Okay.
In the Line of Fire
Okay.
and Enemy Mine.
Ooh, Enemy Mine.
Yes.
Ooh, that's
yes,
a movie we
yes,
might want
yes,
to look
yes,
at
yes,
some
yes,
point.
Yeah.
Lou Gossett Jr.
It's been a while since
I know.
Lou Gossett Jr.
Yes, well, anyway.
Was it Dennis Quaid?
It was Dennis Quaid.
Yep.
Yeah, it wasn't Randy Quaid.
Yeah.
That'd have been a totally different movie.
Anyway.
It was at...
No, but it would have been a really fun movie.
Yes. So NeverEnding Story was actually based off the book The NeverEnding Story by Michael Ende, E-N-D-E, starring a bunch of people that I think this was their first movie.
I think it might have been their only movie.
with one exception.
Yeah.
Okay.
Noel Hathaway, Barrett Oliver, Tammy Stronach, I believe is how it's pronounced, Patricia Hayes, Siler Brahman, and we'll go into the casting here in a minute, but the bigger name on this list, Gerald McCraney. That's right. Major Dad was on this.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, that's right.
Yes, he was.
I didn't even recognize it.
Distributed by Warner Brothers. Original budget on this puppy
I know,
was...
he was Simon and Simon. Let's be honest here. Come on.
He was Simon and Simon.
He was
You're right.
Simon and
All right.
Simon and Simon before he was
He is
Major
also Bernadette's dad.
Fair.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, and he was in Jericho. He was.
I didn't really watch that show.
He was also in the remake of The A-Team.
I didn't see
Yeah,
it.
see? All right.
Well, let me rephrase that. He was on the first season of Jericho. That's all I'll say. I'm sending those DVDs home with you to watch. Okay.
I've got DVDs I haven't watched yet that I need to bring back.
I guarantee you start watching that show and you will burn through both seasons like that.
He's got DVDs holding up his DVDs.
Yeah, anyway.
All right, let me run through the cast here really quick just to give them the names. Okay. Barrett Oliver playing Bastian Balthazar Bucks. You got to love that name.
Of course it was.
You have seen him before in 2 other movies, though. He was in Cocoon, and more importantly, he was in Daryl.
Oh, that's right. He was Daryl.
Yes,
that's right. That's
Daryl.
right. What's his name? McKeon was in Michael McKeon.
Michael McKeon. Yep. Noah Hathaway played Atreyu.
Because for some reason,
I love
in
that
the
band.
80s,
Yes.
for some reason in the 80s, building like robot children was a thing.
Oh yeah,
You know, I don't understand.
That or alien children.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so go ahead.
but Noah Hathaway played Atreyu. Now
I
he
love that
actually
band.
has done another movie. He was in the movie Troll.
Oh.
And his character name, I can't make this up. His character name in the movie Troll was Harry Potter Jr.
Nice.
I cannot make that up. Tammy Stronach played the childlike empress. And, Bastian gives her a name later, but we'll get into that.
We'll get into that.
Actually, strangely enough, she beat out Heather O'Rourke for that role. Imagine how different Poltergeist would have been.
Well, this was after Poltergeist, so I mean that's
true. But they started filming it way before.
Yeah,
so.
that's true.
Patricia Hayes played Ingevuk's wife and the healer. Her name was Urgel. You know her from the Benny Hill Show and A Fish Called Wanda.
Mm-hmm.
Sidney Bromley played Ingevuk, whatever the guy's name is. I can't say it. The scientist. He was in American Werewolf in London.
Okay.
And actually one of my favorite Disney and one of the infamous Amy's favorite Disney movies, Candle Shoe.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Jodie Foster's one of her first
One of her
movies.
first roles. Gerald McRaney, as I said, from Major Dad. He played Bastian's dad, is the workaholic father. Moses Gunn played Karen, who is the servant of the Empress. You've known him from 2 amazing movies. He was in Shaft, and he was in Heartbreak Ridge.
Both good movies.
Our second Clint Eastwood reference
there. Now, there was a lot of voice work on this one. Alan Oppenheimer actually was the voice of Falkor, Gmork, the Rockbiter, and the narrator. You know him better as the voice of Skeletor.
Yes.
That was not that great.
That was
sorry. Try again.
My voice has still not recovered from COVID. I still have like this lump in my throat that just will not go away. So
we
had that, and I'm getting old, and my top end is really starting.
And there were a bunch more of Hey It's That guys. There was 2 other names I did want to mention though. Robert Easton was the voice of Moira. And he's a very, very famous voice actor for many years. He was actually called the Man of 1,000 Voices. And the last one, playing Teeny Weeny, the messenger riding the snail, was Deep Roy.
Deep Roy.
Charlie in the Chocolate Factory.
Yes.
Played all of the Oompa Loompas.
Nice.
All right. Are you ready?
Here we go. Go ahead and get it out of the way so I can go ahead and rip you on timing issues.
All right.
Your bad-mouthing Tron is about to come back to you.
Just have a little faith. While homesick from school one day, Bastian's grandfather decides to read him a story from a book he stole in an old bookstore. A story with no end. A never-ending story of sorts.
Wait, what?
The book about the fantasy world Fantasia, a world of dancing hippopotamuses, magician's apprentices, and a darkness on Bald Mountain. But Fantasia is being devoured by the nothing, and the Empress has fallen ill.
Dude, that was the wrong Fantasia.
She sends out a hero named Atreyu, not to be confused with the shitty emo band from the early 2000s, with the Arin medallion to find a cure. But the Nothing has also sent a proxy in the form of the wolf-like creature named Gmork to stop Atreyu. His first stop on the journey sends Atreyu into the swamps of sadness to meet Morla, the Ancient One, but his beloved horse Artax chooses to be swallowed by the swamp because he cannot handle the overwhelming sadness, thus teaching a whole generation that the only way to beat sadness is through SSRIs, and Prozac Nation was born. Morla doesn't have the answer that Atreyu seeks and directs him to the South Oracle 10,000 miles away. As Gmork closes in on Atreyu, he is saved by Falkor, a luck dragon, who just happened to be passing by, and they fly off to the Southern Oracle. After passing the first gate, he is shocked to find a mirror that shows him his true self, a human boy who looks just like Bastian. He finally reaches the Oracle, and it is revealed that the cure for the Empress is to find a human child beyond the boundaries of Fantasia to give her a new name. All right, whatever. So Atreyu and Falkor fly away, but Atreyu falls from Falcor's back into the sea of possibilities. This plunge causes him to lose the Orin, and he washes up on the shore full of ruins depicting his adventures, at which point Jareth appears and starts doing crystal orb tricks, and Gamork reveals himself and begins an exposition dump full of hippie bullshit metaphors about Fantasia being humanity's imagination, and the nothing represents loss of hope and dreams, and blah 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 blah. So Atreyu kills the Gamork, and nothing starts to consume the ruins. Once again, the convenient plot device known as Falcor swoops in, this time with the lost Orin, and saves the day. But the nothing will not be stopped. Welcome to adulthood, kids. And the two find themselves in a void of Fantasia fragments. I'm really surprised Disney has not marketed that concept yet. Among the Empress Ivory Tower, on the nose much, Atreyu approaches the Empress, and Bastian tells his grandfather he doesn't want to hear about any kissing, to apologize for failing her, but the Empress assures him that he has succeeded by bringing along a human child who has been following the quest, and he has dragged us all along for the ride because the true adventure was the friends we made along the way. I cannot roll my eyes any harder at this bullshit. At this point, Bastian is as confused as everyone who ever watched this mechanism for childhood trauma of a movie, especially when the Empress breaks the fourth wall, crying and pleading for him to give her a name. And in one of the most melodramatic soap opera level shots of the whole damn movie, Bastian runs to the window, throws it open, and screams in the pouring rain the most hippie bullshit name a disciple of Peter, Paul, and Mary could ever dream up: Moonchild. But it doesn't stop there. Bastian wakes up to the newly christened Moonchild, oh my God, who gives him a grain of sand, which represents the sole remaining piece of Fantasia, and she tells him he has the power to bring Fantasia back to life. Of course, she left out the part about how to truly do this, we need to thaw out the head of Walt Disney and Frankenstein that shit all to hell. So Bastian starts wishing on a star or a grain of sand, and eventually breaks the fourth wall himself by flying Falcor after his bullies. No wonder millennials have never grown up. And we're told we had more adventures, but that's another story. Two more unremarkable or rememberable straight-to-video stories starring Jonathan Brandis and Jack Black. To which Fred Savage, Peter Falk, and David Bowie turn to the camera and say, our movies are better. I agree. Dustin and Susie need a new song.
Do you need a hug right now?
I'm not sure he watched the same movie we did.
This is what happens when he watches it like 3 a.m. after, being up all day, because stuff kind of got melded together.
It looks like you mixed Princess Bride in with the NeverEnding
and a little bit of Labyrinth
was
too,
that on,
Yeah.
That would have been a much better film.
Oh my God.
Okay.
His grandfather's not reading him this book.
Oh my gosh. Folks, you truly missed out on watching the experience of Alan go through reading this. I seriously saw the vein in the side of his forehead starting to pop.
I'm pretty sure he's dealing with COVID brain at this point.
I loved this movie when I was a kid. Then I got to be an adult and watched it. It was like, oh my God, this is the most hippie bullshit I have ever seen in my entire life.
His Fantasia didn't survive the nothing.
No, it didn't. It was eaten by the gork.
This is just, oh my goodness.
So a couple things.
I'll let you guys gush and we'll come back.
Oh no, I'm not gushing because
it's
the way you tore Tron a new hole because of pacing issues, and then this thing. Could we have another 40 minutes of Atreyu crawling through mud for no reason? Terrible electronic music.
I left something out of my thing here. I forgot to mention how the last 15 minutes of this movie was basically on pace with the last season of Game of Thrones, of them just trying to, okay, now we did this, okay, now we did this, okay, now we did this, now we did this, and now we did this, and now we did this, and now we did this, because they had all these fucking pacing issues at the beginning of it.
So let me see if I can kind of summarize a little of this. I can basically tell you all of this in one sentence, and it will all make sense, boys. This originally was a German movie.
That doesn't surprise me in the slide. Oh, the names. Come on, Bastian, Atreyu.
It was originally called, and I know I'm going to just bastardize the pronunciation here, Die Undienst Gestindli. And I know that's wrong, but yeah, this Wolfgang Petersen, this was like one of his first big ones.
It's better than I would have done.
Strangely enough, this was actually the most expensive film produced outside the United States or the Soviet Union at the time of its release.
So like a nickel.
$1.50. And it's supposed to have actually been the first half of the actual book. and then the second half is supposed to have been the sequels.
Right.
Didn't really translate the way it was supposed to on that, clearly. But
did a German write the book?
Well, it's Michael Ende. I don't know where he's from.
That sounds like a European name of some sort.
I don't know. I know this was a German production, and
what was his name again?
The writer?
Yeah,
is Michael Ende.
Michael Ende. Was it Tommy Ende?
Ende. Ende. But yeah,
Dave doesn't get that reference in the slightest.
Well, and I went back and watched this, and I was like, like you said, I remembered when I was a kid watching this thing, and I was thinking it was so fantastical. The whole kid hiding away in the
attic of the school.
Attic of the school, and I was like,
the book. So I know I did the whole putting the Princess Bride, and everything in there. But yeah, that him going into that bookstore and all that stuff. I did love that part. I still love that part. That's always been that whole deal, and then him going into the attic and
hiding
sitting
from
there.
the bullies.
It's like that is wonderful. I agree.
It's too bad he took the worst book in the world with him.
Well, it's just.
You want him to take The Art of War? I mean, what?
No, he could have done like I did as a kid and took Pet Sematary.
Well, all right, you're not wrong.
Why don't you just take it and really traumatize themselves?
Well,
we all know what I'm talking about.
So no kidding. They all float down here, Georgie. Anyway, but there's a lot to unpack with this movie. Like you said, has a very strong European feel to it. You can tell that this was like, I remember as a kid being fascinated by it for a couple of reasons. Number one, it was very fantastical, but also didn't really quite understand what all was going on.
Oh, absolutely.
And then going back and watching it as an adult, I still didn't quite understand everything that was going on.
No. All I know is that this was the beginning of most of our childhood traumas where they killed the horse.
Well, and that was a whole, I'm sure we all did this, towards the end of the school year, they cart the TV and VCR into the room. Let's watch me. Okay, we'll watch NeverEnding Story. And then a whole group of fourth graders are sitting there like
watching
Artax die, as well as and just being like, okay, don't cry.
This is where
it was either this or it was Where the Red Fern Grows or it was Old Yeller. It was like, really, you just love traumatizing children.
Or Watership Down.
Oh God.
That should never be shown to a child. Ever.
You're right.
Ever.
But this movie or one of those other three where we learned how to sit in a classroom and bottle up our emotions so the other kids would not make fun of us.
So hang on. Let's talk about that for a second, because if you think about it, you have that scene, which, let's be honest, is probably one of the most heartbreaking horrific scenes in history of cinema to watch.
I know, him pleading with that horse.
Yeah, and then at the end of it, you see, he's riding Artax, as Bastion's riding the Luck Dragon
they're
across,
both dead,
and it's supposed to be this big, glorious moment, and I'm like, do you think that the guys that made this movie deliberately tried to break every kid's heart just so that at the end of it would be like this giant happy ending?
That wouldn't surprise me in the slightest.
I went a different way as a kid. I was like, oh, they're all dead now. They're all ghost.
Yeah,
it's heaven.
They're on heaven now.
Yeah.
This is this is not the real world any longer.
And did anybody else think that the Luck Dragon looked like a dog?
Yes.
Yeah.
It looks like a mixture between a Chinese dragon and a
Great Basset Hound.
A Great Pyrenees.
Great Pyrenees or Golden Doodle or something.
I'm telling you, because my Tate, my Great Pyrenees, you look him dead in the face and he looks like Falcor. I mean, it's just like...
You're not wrong.
I mean, that's...
So listeners, if
you mean the polar bear that lives with you occasionally?
Yeah, exactly.
If any of you have a Great Pyrenees, if you've actually named that dog Falcor, please let us know, because that's
good on you. I mean,
that's perfectly fitting for this.
Absolutely.
But so
either that or what's really funny is that Tate would he loves to come and lay down, and when he lays down, he basically just spreads out. He looks like a
bear rug.
Bear rug.
But I used to always say that he was my wampa skin rug.
But Falcor and the bookstore and the attic are basically the three parts of the movie that I love, and I'm
the rest of it is just.
I'm really thinking about putting this movie in my video editor and like taking those parts and putting a different story in the middle of it.
I don't know. I think from a visual standpoint, though, there was a lot to like in this movie.
There is.
There's a lot to just kind of like.
Oh, the
wow.
visual of the nothing.
The nothing is the rock eater was just
I know
like, that's astounding to me.
And there are so many bits and pieces in this that you could go to, especially looking at 1984 and being like, oh wow,
right?
Yeah, the visuals are great.
Great.
Like another movie that I love that somebody tore to shreds.
Which I said the visuals were spectacular on that movie. I will stand by that forever.
And I will give full props on this for one thing. You know, Wolfgang Petersen basically created his own world.
Yes.
And it was unlike any world that I had ever seen or read in a movie or book prior to or since. They've taken some variations on it, but the idea of the main baddie, the main villain on this was something called the Nothing. Basically, it's the removal of existence. I was like, that's interesting.
Come on, it is
the precursor to Thanos. But
it is a ham-fisted metaphor for growing up, is what it is.
Well,
okay,
yeah, I'll give you
and
that.
I mean like heavy.
I'll give you
heavy
that.
ham-fisted metaphor for growing up. And again, it all goes back. It's all a bunch of hippie crap. Okay, I'm just.
Well, you got to look at the generation that were making movies at that point.
I know it was the boomers. I get it. You know, they were all coming out of the age of Aquarius and all that crap. But it just.
Well, but if you're gonna have a boomer,
I'm telling
sci-fi
you,
fantasy,
whoever
kind of,
the Malachi Black or whatever the guy's name that wrote this book.
Wow, Michael End.
Tommy End, exactly. Whoever wrote this story, obviously sat around, smoked a lot of pot, and listened to a lot of Peter, Paul, and Mary. There is no ifs, ands, and buts about this. This has Puff the Magic Dragon fingerprints all over this.
I was going to go more like Led Zeppelin, Tolkienian kind of feel to it, because it definitely has that weird
This is not Tolkien. This is most definitely Puff the Magic Dragon, okay? Because he was puffing on some serious magic stuff.
You need to leave that alone, because that's actually like one of my favorite Disney like live action cartoon mixtures.
The original, not the
original.
remake.
You're talking about Pete's Dragon, not Puff the Magic
He's
Dragon.
right.
It's the same thing.
No, it's not.
No, far from it. Far from it.
Completely
far from it.
When the main character in your story about a magical dragon is named Johnny Papers.
Hang on.
It just says everything you need to know.
Hang on. Let me break it down for him. On one side you have Hana Lee. On the other side you have Passamaquoddy. And never the twain shall meet.
Anyway. I would much rather go back and watch Fantasia. Because there's really only one part of Fantasia that's any good, and that is the Night on Bald Mountain sequence, which is the last one. I would much rather watch that thing on a loop than go back and watch this thing.
What, you mean you don't like watching dancing, brooms?
Hippopotamuses and alligators and the Sorcerer's Apprentice, and I know it just.
All right, sorry I derailed us there.
Oh yeah,
moving along.
Anyway.
So let's talk about the music on this.
How did Disney not sue them for one thing? I mean, that's.
I mean, it's one of those things. I don't think they actually had at the time the name Fantasia copyrighted, because I've seen that name
because that.
Well, I've seen that name used a few other places.
Yeah,
nothing quite as big as this, but
40.
I don't remember off the top of my head.
I'm gonna look it
up.
It came out in the 40s, I think.
Well, let's talk about the music on this for a second, because there's a couple of different elements musically on this that I really was kind of impressed with. First off, one of the main
1940
composers in this was Giorgio Moroder. I mean, this is like, the captain of all 80s soundtracks was Giorgio Moroder.
Yeah,
and I was just
wrong.
like, okay, that is, kind of, I liked that element of it, and the fact that they brought in Lamal from Kajagoogoo to actually do the song "The NeverEnding Story." I mean, it's probably the most memorable element of this movie. With the exception of maybe the scene with Atreyu and Artax, I would honestly argue that more people are going to know that song than if I say the name Artax.
Especially after Stranger Things use it in season 3.
Yeah.
I mean, that was...
which I have to admit was one of the most adorable scenes ever.
It was when Dustin started, when she's like, sing it, and he's like, no, don't make me do this, Susie. He's like, sing it. And he starts, as soon as he said, turn around, I was like, oh, are they really going to do this?
Yep.
Sure enough, full on.
But...
And...
If only for that scene, I can justify this movie existing.
Yeah.
But otherwise, when I first heard that song, even as a kid, when I saw it, I was like, what is this piece of garbage?
Well, I like the song. It does something that irritates me to no end, though.
Like the song.
It's Euro techno pop.
No. It's not anything. It's the opening, the way it fades in.
Oh yeah.
Usually on when a song fades in, like what is that? What was that Metallica song on "And Justice for All" that fades in on the beginning of it? Is it?
You're gonna make me look this up.
Harvester. It wasn't Harvester of Sorrow.
Because I've been listening to
Anyways,
Lightning.
but it's one of those
anything
things that
here
like
lately.
they do a slow, long fade in where it's like it builds like you're like okay, yeah. And that's what you typically get with a song that has a fade in. This one is a very quick fade in. Like, why didn't you just start the song
sounds like if
everything?
you're listening to it on the radio, the DJ forgot to turn
exactly.
it on.
And
It's like,
it's like, oh, and just that. Beyond that, I like the song for what it is. I always have.
Oh, yeah, me
It was
too.
never one of those like, oh, I'm going to listen to this every day.
It's fluff.
Yeah,
Talking about
but-
Blackened?
Was it? Maybe it was Black. Yeah, no. It's later in the album. Anyways,
I thought you said it was right at the beginning.
No. It's later. Yeah. Anyways, that's the only issue I have with this song is that little fade in bothers me. But other than who is the woman that sings on it?
I can't remember.
I know
It's only
like,
listed as Lamal.
It's funny because if you go back and watch the music video, there is nothing
There's a video
about
for it.
Yeah,
I've never seen the video.
Yeah, there's nothing about the movie, like no movie clips, no nothing.
Oh wow,
whatsoever. It's just the two of them in like some kind of weird alleyway with other people dressed strangely.
It's very 80s. Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I think that when you have somebody like Giorgio Moroder that's kind of in charge of this, the music did fit the movie very, very well as far as setting the scenes and building
you
it
get
up.
Some epic stuff.
Well,
this
is to use a wrestling term, this is a movie made up of a bunch of spots.
Yes, absolutely.
And there are a ton of them in here. I mean, the little scenes with the what's his name, Teeny Weeny or whatever, the guy that's riding the snail. The scenes with him and the rock eater and that kind of stuff. Those are fun. Then you get into like the whole. The infamous scene with Artax dying and the
there's one other infamous scene in there that childhood trauma is the rock eater telling the story of how he was trying to like hold on to.
They look like big strong hands.
Yeah, he's like, but I couldn't hold on.
Oh my gosh,
and I lost. Yeah, it was just like, man, that. Wow, you guys really just want to traumatize children, don't you?
Well, but I guess
again, reason why we got a shitty emo band in the 2000s
my question
betray you.
But my question is, would you think that this? Do you feel like this? The makers of this movie were trying to make high art? Or
I
were
think they thought they were making high art.
Okay,
I really do. I think that,
but they probably should not have dropped acid.
Yes,
beforehand.
that is.
Well, that would have helped.
This movie has all the earmarks of a writer and director who was the same person.
Yep.
As well as a DP and every of people sitting down and patting themselves on the back so hard about this art that they're making and how they're gonna not only are they making art but they're making a statement about childhood and the transition into becoming adult and this and that and how the world is
it just
falling
crushes your
apart
dreams.
and it's this and that.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, seriously, go to therapy. And
maybe
leave
get
us
you
alone.
an SSRI.
Yeah, and leave us alone.
Yeah.
Okay. This is
you guys know how I feel about people remaking movies.
Yes.
I honestly, this would be an exception for me. I would love to see somebody buy the rights to the book and
who
actually,
I would like to see do this movie?
do it correctly.
No, you know who I'd like to see do this movie?
Who?
Steven Spielberg.
Actually, it's funny that you boys mentioned that because in 2009, Warner
So early.
Brothers, hang on,
13 years later.
Warner Brothers and Appian Way, which is DiCaprio's company.
Oh no.
Were in the early stages of trying to readapt this. It kind of fell apart though.
All right, so if DiCaprio's film does this, then nothing will be a metaphor for climate change. And
let it go. Let it go.
That's a totally different movie.
I know.
But it kind of died on the vine. They said that they couldn't secure the rights to the story, so it really wasn't going to allow.
I don't know. Is Malachi Black still alive? I mean, it's.
Can you not get this guy's name
I'm
correct?
sorry. It's Alistair Black.
Anyway.
Oh, my God.
But I think you're right. I think if they could get Spielberg online.
The House of Black.
Actually,
why do I do this podcast?
Oh, well, hey,
because
just hang out with me.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you're true. Yeah, it's true.
Dave, you've been tolerating me for almost 30 years. You ought to be used to it by now.
I'll be honest. If you really wanted to go off the deep end on this, the one that I would love to see do it was Terry Gilliam.
Ooh.
Because that would have been just...
If he put a little bit of Time Bandits on this shit,
well, you throw some Time Bandits, you throw some Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
No, I'm just going back to Time Bandits and the whole, talk about childhood trauma.
Yeah, but I mean, it's again, I think that's what it was trying to touch on, those elements of trying to be these big dramatic moments. And instead of being something that we look at as like the pinnacle of cinema, we're looking at it as like one of the heaviest traumas for childhood ever.
Well, we've all seen that meme that's been going around for a couple of years now with, Atreyu and Artax, and it's talking about how this set up everybody for crushing sadness, and it kind of
well, it's the truth. It's funny because it's true.
It is, and there was a whole line of movies like that.
Yeah, we mentioned 3 others.
Yeah,
with it.
In some ways, The Secret of Nim is
Fox and the Hound.
Fox and the Hound.
Yeah.
I mean, did you guys ever see a movie called The Earthling?
Yes,
Ricky Schroeder.
Yeah.
It's been a very long time.
He's on vacation with his parents in Australia, and they get killed in an RV accident within the first half hour of the movie.
Yep.
And it's like, what am I watching?
Yeah.
It's just
and I mean,
but here's the other thing that nobody talks about. Yeah, the kid goes flying off on Falcor, chasing his bullies,
right?
And all this.
Mm-hmm.
He's been gone for 24 hours,
and nobody's looking for him.
And his dad's not looking
and
for him.
No.
Again, Gen X.
We don't know that.
Completely unsupervised.
We're talking about a family where the
for.
mom has died. They're obviously still dealing with it. Now, this dad comes home from work, and his kid doesn't come home from school?
Is this the second or third movie we've seen where the mom's dead?
Well,
Cloak and Dagger.
Cloak and Dagger had it.
In the 80s, it was the mom dying, and the dad who can't...
who was trying but failing.
He's trying, and he can't relate to his kid.
Right.
He's dealing with it. In the 90s and 2000s, it turned into the dad gets killed off because obviously he was a moron, and now the mom is dealing with
if it's a Disney Channel, anything, the parents are just not around.
Yeah,
they just don't
or whatever. And
but you've now got a father who's dealing with grief because he lost his wife, and now his kid's missing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And has obviously gone off into fantastical world.
Well, and
I mean, hell, even the what was it, Rugrats?
Yeah,
because Chucky's dad, his mom had I can't remember if she died or she had left him or something. They kind of, but it was because that was a plot of the second movie is that he got remarried.
It just makes me so happy that you're quoting the Rugrats.
I
movies.
love the Rugrats, dude. That show was. I know we're on a complete tangent here, but
Klasky Chupo, it's one of my favorites.
That show, I remember watching it in the 90s, catching it, because my dad at the time had a secretary who had 2 small children, so the TV would be on in his office a lot of times, and that was my first Rugrats. I remember getting sucked in watching that show one day and going, kids aren't getting this. Their demo is not getting this, and it just
to your point on this one. Let me ask you this: we've talked about this movie, saying watching it as children, watching it as adults, we had similar but in some ways totally different experiences on this.
Oh yeah,
who is this movie for?
That's a good question.
Who do you feel like this movie is actually for?
I've seen it as a kid and as an adult now. I mean, I watched it again last week to get ready for this.
Do you think it's?
I still don't know who it's for.
Okay.
Obviously, it was supposedly made for children in the 80s.
Yeah.
Okay? I think we can blame this movie for the millennials as much as anything. Quite honestly, I don't know. I agree. I don't know who it's for. I can tell you exactly who it's for. I know exactly who. This movie is for a bunch of stoned boomer hippies to sit around and talk about how smart they are.
That would explain why I felt like I should have had the munchies at the end of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, it just, and I know it seems like I'm shitting on this movie. I'm really not. I mean, I'm just like, there are some glaring flaws in this thing.
Oh, let's not even get started on that.
And like I said, it's one of those things, like you said, the pacing.
Oh, it's
is
terrible.
really well, and then it goes into hyperspeed all of a sudden because it's like,
they realized they ran out of budget and was going to have to get this thing ended on the celluloid they already had left.
And
like I said, it was one of the most expensive movies they made up to that
Like
point.
I said, no joke. It felt a lot like that last season of Game of Thrones, where it's like, okay, we've got all this stuff we've got to get in 6 episodes.
It was made for $250.
Well, it's actually it was made for 60 million Deutschmarks.
Deutschmarks,
which translates into
a nickel in English.
About 25
We're not talking about Canadian money, okay?
Basically, it was made for about 25 mil, and it actually ended up making about 100 mil.
Yeah, I know. It was a very. Again, you go back to that 1984 summer season, of all the stuff that came out there. I mean, I practically lived at the theater that summer.
Well, we all did.
That and Ghostbusters and Gremlins.
And the roller skating rink.
Yeah, exactly.
And the arcade.
Yeah, I know. Believe me.
Water park.
This is one of those movies that goes into that Member Berry's nostalgia, but the problem is that it doesn't hold up like other movies that we've covered.
Honestly, after having watched it last week, I kind of wish I hadn't, because
I know.
I had fonder memories of it as a kid.
I don't know if I've talked about it on here or not, but I know I've said this many times in the last couple decades.
Mm-hmm.
When DVD became a thing,
right,
and then all of a sudden people were like, hey, we can put seasons of television shows out on DVD and people will buy them.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, all of these television shows from when I was a kid that I loved started hitting DVD. It's like, I can own the complete set of Transformers or G.I. Joe or Dungeons and Dragons or He-Man and the Masters of the Universe
or Creepshow
but like all that kind of stuff.
Or Tales from the Crypt.
And what wound up happening was that I went back and watched some of this stuff and said, dude, how dumb was I as a child?
We were dumb.
I mean,
we were very, very, very extremely
And I
dumb.
got to the point where I was like, I don't want to go back and watch some of this stuff because I have so much love for the stuff, and even some movies that I'm like, I don't want to go back and rewatch them because it's going to ruin my childhood memories.
But
Tales from the Dark Side.
You're looking at it through 2022 eyes, not through 1984 eyes.
Well, but
and in 1984 eyes,
early 2000s eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
I know,
but
we were looking through it through adult eyes rather
Right.
than kids.
And
no, let's correct this. We're looking at it through jaded, jilted, cynical Gen X eyes.
Forgotten.
Yeah.
Well, and I
middle children of history.
Which all right, so that kind of raises the question again. Do you show this to children today?
I wouldn't show this to my kid.
Is there any benefit?
I just honestly, I
No.
think that my son would not enjoy this movie. Like he might enjoy some of the visuals, like Falcor.
I think the visuals hold
but
up,
as
that's
far as
about
the
it.
story itself, I think he'd be like, "Where's Godzilla?" Or something. I mean, it just and that obviously. This movie has had a long tail, no pun intended, because again, like with bands like Atreyu, and it's one of those things that I have. When the 2000s flipped over and everything 80s became
relevant again.
Well, it wasn't even relevant. It never went away, but all of a sudden became like back into the social conscious on a massive scale again.
Yeah.
I remember this movie being tossed around all the time.
Oh yeah.
This was such a great movie. Such a great movie. I was like, okay. And at the time, because I had not gone back and rewatched it at that point, I was like, yeah, I really love that movie. Why are all these young people talking about this movie? Because they were like babies when this came out.
They weren't even born.
I know,
when this came out.
just. And then like I said, with the band's name Atreyu,
but
I'm sure there are plenty of other.
Well, it's the same effect that Tolkien had over the heavy metal bands of the 70s.
Yeah.
If you go back and look
Led
at
Zeppelin, man, you listen to those first 5 albums.
Oh yeah,
it's all Tolkien.
But I mean, if you go back and listen to those late 60s, early 70s, rock and roll and heavy metal albums.
Yeah, it's all Wizards and Dragons.
It's all
and,
Tolkien-esque.
Exactly.
Hobbits. For
Bilbo
certain,
Baggins. And
for a certain group of people in the 80s, this movie became that touchstone.
Yes.
And I think it's a fair statement.
Which should have obviously been eaten by Rockbiter.
They look like big, strong hands, don't they?
Maybe should have just been absorbed into the nothing. Let's be honest.
Well, and
can we pick and choose what goes into the nothing? Like we were saying, I will volunteer to stand on the edge of the nothing and decide what gets tossed in forever. Okay?
No, simply because I know you, that is an absolute no from me.
He'd be like Red Skull, just waiting to push somebody over the edge,
Yeah.
But I will say this much though, and like I said, there are enough elements on this movie, at least to me, and you guys could argue either way, but to me, there's enough elements of this movie to make it still relevant. Is this something that I'm gonna break out every year and watch at least once?
No.
It's just, if nothing else, the Artax scene is just too difficult to watch.
I don't think I'll ever watch this movie again.
I've watched this movie 3 times in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When we rented it on VHS.
Yep.
It after it came out on VHS.
And once for this podcast.
And then last week.
I watched it several times. I watched it in the theater. I watched it multiple times on VHS, but less than 10 probably.
Well, and I think a lot of it also,
which is a low number for me back then. So.
Well, and I think a lot of it also is the fact that because it was a German movie, because they used that footprint to kind of set the stage for, the real world, not Fantasia.
Right.
Excuse me. I think that a little bit
of German, it's Fantasia.
Fantasia, yes.
Now spank my monkey.
Wow. This just took a weird turn.
Sprockets.
Now we dance.
Now we dance.
Oh my gosh! If you put on Kraftwerk, I'm out of here.
No,
anyway,
actually, I'm waiting for Alex Wright to come dancing.
Wow!
I'm gonna get all the wrestling references in here today. So.
Something got to save this episode. But no, and I remember watching this as a kid, and I was just like, first off, no school that I ever went to had an attic.
No.
Let alone one that was accessible by the kids.
Right.
Second,
not alone that had a key that you kept in one of those fire boxes where you'd break the glass to pull a fire alarm.
And
don't forget to keep the attic key there.
How many schools do you guys remember that actually had candles in them?
None, because somebody would burn the place down. I mean, no joke. I mean,
all of this,
or stuffed animals.
Stuffed animals, blankets, all that kind of stuff. I'm just like, why would you store all that stuff up in this? It just doesn't make any
skeletons.
sense to
I
me.
can see because the science class.
But that looked more like Halloween decoration than it actually did like a full science.
It was just odd, and I remember watching it as
a
kid.
They only had a $25 million budget. What did you expect?
Well,
cut corners somewhere.
Hey, most of that went to Marauder. Anyway, I'm not.
Okay, all right. And I recognized this as a kid also.
Okay.
Is it just me?
Probably, but go ahead.
Or is there some kind of weird sexualization of the Empress in this movie?
I don't know.
Like, I don't know if it's that or if it's just the Europeanness of it all or what. But even as a kid, I remember
just be you.
I remember it being kind of like they're presenting her not as a child, which she is, but as
a queen.
Yeah, or what? But
empress,
as a woman, So, and it's like. But I don't know. I think it's the way they did her makeup, like the way that they made it
I
up.
think
Everything.
that and the lighting.
Kind of like, I don't know. It's just
I honestly think that's just you.
It could be. I don't know.
You may need to go to your.
I've already been to therapy enough. Okay,
You're on a list somewhere. I'm sure you're on a list somewhere.
We're all on a list somewhere.
I will say that it was kind of odd to see the way that her scenes were shot. That for some reason they felt this need to just like blast her with every possible light they could find, so that she looks like she's just absolutely glowing.
Dude, it was worse.
You could see her working on her tan as they were recording.
Dude, the shots.
She actually died of skin cancer.
The shots of her are blurrier than a fucking Brian De Palma movie.
Well, it looks like a solar. I mean, anybody.
I mean, seriously, think about Brian De Palma. That was like his, you look at Carrie, you look at Scarface, all those real like blur, like Vaseline on the lens to give it, all this like real just blah. That's exactly the way they shot this.
Well, and it was, it looked like a solar flare. Yeah. It looked like, this is the kind of thing.
Way before J.J. Abrams with his.
Well, yeah, this is the kind of stuff, this is,
might be where J.J. Abrams got it from.
Filming 101. This is the stuff you don't want to do,
lens flare and
everything. You do not want lens flare. You want to keep that dial back.
That's because he shot with nothing but anamorphic lenses. For those Star Trek movies,
okay. But then he also put it in Star Wars movies. He put it in.
He is a.
He put it in his Spielberg ripoff.
He is
what was that movie?
It seems like everything he shoots, he uses anamorphic lenses for. I mean, and that's how you get those lenses.
What an 8mm? 8mm was the that Nicolas Cage.
Yeah,
movie.
It was.
That
Super 8.
Right. Super 8. Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, when I went back and watched this movie. Again,
this movie wants to be Spielberg. It really wants to be Spielberg.
I don't think so.
I mean, it wants to be European Spielberg.
This had more of an old world Hansel and Gretel.
Yes.
art flick.
Yeah, I would definitely
After
agree with
somebody
Dave on
had
that.
dropped too much acid type.
I think it almost has like more of a Ben-Hur kind of feel to it, where you're trying to get that whole big production type thing. And
I don't see that.
You know, I feel like this movie wanted to be so much bigger than it actually was.
I agree with that.
You know,
it absolutely did want to be a lot bigger than it.
And if
just
only
didn't
they,
work.
if only they'd had a second nickel to rub together with the first nickel they had.
Hey man,
well,
you want to say 25 million's a nickel? I mean, come on.
Well,
you know,
luckily,
and $84. You know, that's a good portion for money there.
Basically, you have to triple it to see what it would be in today's dollars.
Pretty close.
So what was it, 25 million?
Yeah.
So you're looking at $75 million.
Yeah, I know,
these days,
but
which is a small movie.
But I've got a feeling that
movie.
a big portion of that budget went to heroin and cocaine.
I'm sure it was cocaine and pot more than anything.
But you got to admit, you kind of have to respect that they made the best out of what they had. Because I mean, what was it, the gates? What
you know
what's
what's really funny is that I did my summary, and then you're like, okay, we're going to talk about this, and all three of us is out here and shit on this movie for the last.
We didn't say you were
40
wrong.
minutes.
We just said.
So I was not wrong on this one.
We never said you were wrong. We just said you were like deranged.
You confused me with all of your Princess Bride references.
Exactly.
That's because it's a better movie.
It is a better movie.
Thankfully, we're going to cover an even better movie later in the summer with Labyrinth.
Yes.
So, which I think we're closing out.
Yeah, I think we're closing that out.
I've got to find that and watch that again.
Oh my god!
Yeah, but remind me of the Babe.
Yeah, exactly.
What Babe?
Babe
but
with
with
power.
What power?
Power.
Save it, boys. Save it.
You do. I saw my baby cry.
Oh my god!
Harder
But,
than any baby.
He's looking for anything on this to not have to talk about this movie. I know.
It's because David Bowie trumps everything.
Well, all right, you're not wrong.
Look at my tattoo,
I know,
okay?
I know.
But need some recolor, by the way.
I know they all do.
And again, just to kind of start to summarize and wrap up on this one, I definitely think that we all looked at this with rose-colored glasses when we were kids, and it was definitely something that when you go back and look at it with a more descriptive eye,
I went into this one anticipating
disappointment.
No, I went into this anticipating this being like one that really held up.
Really?
And was really surprised with how it did. And
I really wanted it to hold up.
I did.
And
it just
like 15 minutes into the movie, I was putting it on pause to go get snacks and use the bathroom, and then like 15
I kept
minutes
looking.
later,
I kept looking at it going, how much time's left in this?
Oh, this has like
How much
4
time?
hours more.
What? How long is this movie? I mean, just like wow.
It's funny because the moments of drama and the moments that are interesting are the most horrific moments in the damn movie.
And then the stuff that they're trying to really make dramatic comes off as just laugh. Like him, I'm sorry, that scene where he throws the window open and screams "Moonchild."
Yeah,
God, Moonchild.
Because he was going to name her what was his mother's name?
Is that what his mother's name was? See, that's even worse. That's even worse. At least give the mom a good name, okay? I mean, that just, oh my God.
And honestly,
Let it be
I didn't
something
know
like Bertha.
I didn't
or,
realize
it's-
it was Moonchild. until
Eunice.
you mentioned-
Eunice would have been a great name.
I thought
okay? This is.
I thought he'd said something like Maureen.
That's because you
something
can't
like
understand
that.
him. Honestly,
Yeah, you can't.
it was decades before I knew what he actually screamed there.
Same here.
I mean,
exactly.
whatever.
I had to go back and watch it multiple times.
I know.
Just that scene to figure out what in the world he was saying.
I know.
And then when I found
so-
it out, I was like, so apparently his mom was Paul Stanley's sister?
I know.
I mean, what is
Well,
that?
That's right. Yeah. So that was Star Child.
Oh, well, that's what. Now he was Star Child. She's Moonchild.
So it's pretty obvious that his dad was in the military and in love. This is actually a precursor. This is a postcursor to Forrest Gump.
I was about to say,
the, the military guy that married the hippie, and now the mom is gone.
There you go.
Evidently, something happened that Forrest got.
So baby Forrest went over to Germany and went to school there, and
All right.
okay.
While we're on the subject,
Oh Lord.
Oh, here we go.
See what you did. I
Okay.
blame you for this.
I'll take it.
here's the question. I've heard this, and I heard this like even before like the internet really started pausing all this stuff. Was Jenny already pregnant when she came back?
I have no idea.
Okay, save that for the Forrest Gump.
We're never doing an episode on Forrest Gump.
We ain't got that kind of time.
First off, we're not a bunch of boomers sitting around sucking our own dicks, and more importantly, that movie is terrible. I'm sorry, and it just. But do you think that? I mean, because all the signs of a pregnant woman is there when she comes back, and she knew that Forrest loved her and would take care of her child, you know, and do you think that Jenny used Forrest to have a baby daddy because knowing that the true dad was not there any longer?
No idea on this one. You have put far more thought into this than I ever wanted to.
I did not go into. Somebody else like pointed this out, and then that started becoming a thing like later on.
And now I kind of want to do a deep dive on this just to see if there's any kind of like, random ass thoughts that people have had on this movie to try to explain some of it, like they have with so many others like that, or like the whole thing with Fight Club is nothing more than Calvin and Hobbes.
Yeah, I've heard.
I love that one. So I'm really curious to see what other kind of interpretations there would be for the NeverEnding Story to make it palatable,
or that when Han Solo was put into carbonite, everything that happened after that was just a dream that he was having until he was finally thawed out by Nazis in the 1930s, and he went on to become Indiana Jones.
I'm
Big Dave.
Hey,
you've been listening
this
to
happened
the
long
project?
ago in a galaxy far, far away. So why couldn't he have been there for eons, just waiting to be discovered?
And you've been listening to the Project Gen X podcast.
You've been listening to Alan go off on some weird ass tangents.
We've been talking about the NeverEnding Story, and you can send your hate mail to us via projectgenxpod
at gmail.com.
You bring up a good point, and I want to throw this out to our listeners and any of our folks on Discord. I mean, I know that there's going to be people that are going to be passionate about this movie.
Oh, we're going to hear about this.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely going to hear about this one. But I'm really curious because we've never once said that we are absolutely right in anything we say.
No.
If you can make an argument on why this movie should still be relevant, make it. Because I really genuinely want to love this movie more than I do. I have such strong memories of what it represented at the time, and now going back and watching it in 2022, I'm like,
and then having to sit at a table with us two and listen to us just crap all over it.
Honestly, you guys haven't said anything that I have disagreed with for the most part. It's one of those movies that you go back and look at, and it's like, did I really love this movie as much as I did when I was a kid? And if so, why? It just doesn't.
Well, there is that whole, when you're a kid and somebody sits you in front of something, unless it's just really, really boring, you'll watch anything.
Well, and I think because the visuals on this were so just impactful.
And we all loved Falcor. That's honestly, that's what it came down to, is we all thought that Luck Dragon is so cool.
I want a Luck Dragon.
I know.
Everybody did.
I know.
Everybody did.
That's why so many people have seen the Great Pyrenees now.
I know that in what was that? Actually, no, that comes from what was that Japanese anime with a little girl that had the Great Pyrenees?
It's a Ghibli, isn't it?
Yes, one of those Studio Ghibli.
It's not Spirited Away.
No, it was a show. It was a television show. You know what I'm talking.
I know
it's
exactly
two names, whatever it is. It's but anyway, but the whole thing, I didn't realize until this rewatch. I didn't realize just how much of just a plot device Falcor really was.
Oh yeah,
like literally, he swoops in at like, okay, we need something to save the day. Here comes Falcor.
Yep.
Okay, then now he's gone. Oh, we need to save the day. Well, we didn't bring in the Falcor.
Hey, we need to save the day. Oh, there's a Luck Dragon. Wasn't that lucky?
Well, it's kind of like Gandalf calling the giant.
A creature that had never been talked about, never been,
the giant eagles that he could have called at any time and actually gotten them to Mordor, but he didn't do it except for the one time when it was a plot point.
Now, one other thing I want to bring up here before,
and I don't even fucking like those movies.
Before we start wrapping up, one thing I'm kind of curious, because I didn't really get a chance to look for it. I'm curious to see if there was any kind of marketing for this, as far as like toys or games or anything outside of this, because I don't remember ever seeing any.
I think I had the storybook for it. You know how they used to put out those little
books,
the picture book story and whatever that were like that paper thin, basically.
If they had put out Falcor plushies, they would have made a mint off of
it. Well,
I'm
think
sure
they've
that
got
they've
them out,
done
but
that
I don't think
since then.
Exactly, I don't think they had
at
them out at the time.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would have loved to have seen one of the Rock Eaters.
This was prime.
Oh yeah, everything about this.
Let's make a toy for
Well, let's make the snail. Let's make the Rock Eater. Let's make who is the guy that rode the bat? That guy.
Yeah.
Those kinds of characters.
Unless I can get a Swamp of Sorrow playset with Artrax that actually like falls down into the swamp, I do not want a single thing made. Okay.
Why do you hate yourself? Why do you hate yourself like that? I mean,
because we all live in our trauma. Okay, we play it over and over and over again.
I have no words.
Well, and I will say this much: do you remember, what were they calling not the gates? What were they called?
The oracles.
The oracles.
Yeah.
Did anybody else notice that the oracles were the exact same thing, just different colors?
Yeah.
I mean,
that
it was just like,
surprise me.
what they do, just flip a switch?
Yeah,
I mean, what the hell,
So.
Well, LED.
Exactly, you know, apparently. But I was just, like I said, there were so many elements of this movie. It's a collection of spots.
We were like, you know.
It's a statuette with rock light.
Pretty much.
We were wrapping this up like 6 minutes ago, and now we just went off for another 6 minutes on what's wrong with this movie.
Have you listened to our podcast?
Yeah, I know. Before we get out of here, I do want to say something. We lost somebody this past, I think, in the last 2 weeks since we recorded last.
Lost a couple of people, actually.
But one in particular, Nichelle Nichols.
Yes.
Played Uhura on
Star Trek.
The original Star Trek.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King Jr.'s favorite.
Yes, you know, she was going to leave the show, and Martin Luther King Jr. pulled her aside and said, "No, you are representing all of us on that show," and so she wound up staying with it.
Yep.
And I got the chance to meet her.
I got a chance to meet her too. At
I
one
never
of the
did. Oh,
Star Trek
when
cons
we
that
were
came
doing
through Nashville.
contract, you know, way back a long time ago. That was one of the first interviews that I did.
Nice.
With her.
Really?
She was one of the nicest people.
Yes, she was.
Ever meet in the world. That was when she was on Heroes.
Yeah,
you know, that was around that same time. You know,
I met her before that. They actually had a Star Trek convention come through Nashville.
Yeah, this was at Dragon Con was when I met her.
And it was at the old convention center downtown.
Yeah.
And she was one of the few people I actually got to meet. And it was by accident. It wasn't even like I stood in line and got to meet her. It was like I bumped into her in one of the hallways for like 5 minutes.
So, but yeah, we just wanted to acknowledge that she left and say boldly gold. I mean, that's, you know. And unfortunately, what we got, we've got George Takei and...
trying to remember.
What's the Captain Kirk?
Shatner.
William
Shatner. And I think that's all that's left of the original.
Well, Doohan's passed away.
Yeah.
DeForest Kelly
DeForest
passed
Kelly's
away.
gone.
Yep.
Nichelle's gone now.
Leonard Nimoy.
Leonard Nimoy's gone. I think of like the main characters. It's just
it's the captain and the pilot.
Yeah, it's that's all it is. Yeah. And I think Shatner will probably go first. I think he's older, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know. It seems like Shatner may be partially immortal.
Yeah, he may be. Who knows?
Just because
he may just be
doesn't
unkillable,
care.
You know,
he just doesn't care.
Hey,
He'll do
you don't
whatever
mess
he
with
wants.
T.J. Hooker. I mean, come on.
He's not wrong. But it's funny, we're talking about these. You know, one of my favorite things was DeForest Kelly, just because of the fact that he was in one of my all-time favorite bad movies in history. He was in Night of the Lepus.
Oh, yeah, he was, wasn't he?
Oh, my God.
That movie is terrible. But I remember watching that on repeat on TBS.
Yes.
Because it used to come on all the time when we first got cable. So
I don't know this movie.
it's about giant rabbits that take
bunny
over
rabbits.
a Texas town.
Now, here's the funny thing, Dave. This movie was so poorly made and so poorly budgeted that when they wanted to show the quote-unquote giant rabbits, they basically dropped regular bunny rabbits on an H&O Railroad set.
Yes.
And just let them knock stuff over.
And then shot them at one point.
It was
What caliber gun?
bad.
I don't know, but it's one of those things where it's like,
bad.
please tell me I'm not watching rabbits die like on film. It would not surprise me if we were.
No.
But it's just like...
Okay. We've talked about the past. I'm going to bring up a show that I just finished watching here recently.
Okay.
Because I know it will annoy Alan.
All right.
Have you guys watched the streaming show The Offer about the making of
I've heard that's
I've finished
great.
it. It's
I've
amazing.
heard that's great.
It is
Oh my
amazing.
gosh, this is such a
It is
great
amazing.
show.
That's one of those things that I love behind the scenes.
Now it's
Whether,
it is a fictionalized
Of course it
version
is.
of the producers from the producers
From
book.
Al Ruddy's.
Right.
Yeah.
And that Al Ruddy has produced so much stuff that
yeah.
you wouldn't even think about.
Well, he walked away after The Godfather
Yes,
to go produce
exactly.
other. What was it?
It was
no, it wasn't the replacement.
it was the Burt Reynolds. It was his story.
Oh, not.
It was the
North
one
Dallas
in
40.
where they were playing football in jail.
Yeah, it's the one.
Longest Yard.
Longest
Longest Yard, thank
the
you.
original Longest Yard.
He did that one and he did the remake.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Well,
No, I like the remake.
Actually, the remake's not terrible.
well,
The fact that
But
Burt Reynolds
if I
came
need-
back to it.
if I need to entice you to watch The Offer for anything,
You know, I
whatsoever,
mean, I just haven't gotten around
there's
to it.
there's three things that I can throw at you that just blew me away by this. Okay. Number one, the guy that they got to play Brando nailed it.
Oh,
Absolutely
Brando,
nailed it.
Al Pacino,
The Pacino one was great too.
all of
But,
them.
Giovanni
James
Ribisi. The guy that played Sonny. He's not in it too much, but
Right.
Giovanni Ribisi plays a mafia boss through this.
Okay.
You forget you're watching Giovanni Ribisi about the second episode.
Nice. Okay. I'll take it. I've heard nothing but good things about it, and like I said, I love all that behind the scenes stuff, and I don't hate The Godfather.
Well, but there's one other one, and this will hit you where you live.
All right.
playing the character or the person that became Luca Brasi.
Mm-hmm.
Lou Ferrigno.
It's freaking Lou Ferrigno.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And he does
He
absolutely.
nailed it.
He's
Okay.
amazing.
It was so
I'll have
awkward
to
to
check it
watch,
out.
and I'm like, I'm watching the Incredible Hulk play freaking, Luca Brasi.
Who was an actual mob guy.
Yeah, he was an actual hitman
He was an actual hitman for the mob that they brought in to do that part.
and a professional wrestler for a short time.
yeah.
Well, there you go.
See, bring it
Now that
full
we've gone on a
circle.
completely tangent that has nothing to do with
Welcome to the
what
Gen
we're
X.
talking about.
Welcome to the Project Gen X podcast.
And also,
Yeah.
this is so much better than the movie we watched. So
So seriously, guys, go out and hit us up on Discord. Shoot us emails. Let us know what you think.
We're
going
going to get a lot of
I
hate.
think we're going to get a lot of hate on this one.
we,
But
we're trying to be kind. Please be kind in return. But if you disagree with us, throw it at us. Let us know, because I legitimately, I think all of us really do want to like this movie.
we did. I did, dude. I wanted to love this movie.
Yeah.
And
I loved it as a child,
yes,
kind of.
Yeah.
I wanted to still love this movie.
Yeah.
I wanted to still be in love with this movie.
Yep.
Instead, we've become friends. So it's just like
No,
I wouldn't even say we become Facebook friends.
yeah. Oh yeah, there you go. We became Facebook friends.
We've become exes
Yeah, yeah.
We become Facebook friends. We see their posts
that are
every now and then.
cordial if we run into each other
Right,
at the
right.
grocery store.
Every now and then
might
they'll
like
throw up
their
a meme.
post or something,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
about it. So
Well, that
yeah.
kind of goes to the Stranger Things pop up, which, by the way, to finalize this, when that song was used on Stranger Things, the prior to that, the average download for that song, the internet stream, was right around 30,000, on average a day. Take a guess what it jumped up to.
Well, I'm sure it jumped up into the millions.
A nickel?
somewhere.
Almost 2 million in one day.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that. I think was it on the Hit Parade podcast? They were
I think
talking
so,
about that,
yeah.
and then also, of course, the running up
That
the
hill.
how that thing exploded.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure Master of Puppets has exploded. Also,
Oh God, yes. Oh God, yes. I've already seen where the actor
played with Metallica.
Yeah, I got to go up and play with him. Just that song.
Yeah, well, part of that song.
Yeah.
I love that video, and Lars is like, "Okay, I'm going to count this in. You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4." And it's just like, "Oh, well, we're in this. Okay."
Here we go.
That's when he found out that Lars is exactly the type of jerk that you thought he was.
Yep.
Yeah, drummers. Anyway, so thank you for listening to the Project Gen X podcast. I'm Alan Smith,
I'm the other guy, Big Dave.
And I'm Barry.
and we will see you next time.
See ya.
Reach the stars, fly a fantasy, dream a dream, and what you see.